Welcome to the Backpacking Butchers podcast, brought to you by the undisputed best quilt makers on earth, Enlightened Equipment. Check them out at enlightenedequipment.com. With me today is a man who wrestles goats, sheep, and poison oak and loses every time. Ben McAuliffe, how are we doing?
We're doing good. I still got poison oak, so it's good.
Yeah,
Always
I think.
have
Am
that.
I correct? Like you're not winning those battles typically, right?
No, I literally went into the woods to fight a fire. I knew I went through poison oak, got home, used Technu, which says as long as you use it within the I think 12 hours or less, you're good.
Right.
I used it within 6 and still got it. So
it's a scam, is what you're saying. Technique's a scam.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll learn how to wrestle something from. We have a guest on our show today, which is very different from our typical guest, who's got a very different skill set. So we'll get to that here. But to be honest, like with some of the conversations we're gonna have, like this episode's bound to make somebody mad. So
Yeah,
somebody's gonna get mad about talking about getting kind of your hands on wild animals. Generally speaking, what's one thing that's outdoor related that makes you angry?
probably people that walk slow on the trail or don't think about other people. Gets me angry.
I'm not talking about like it annoys you, but this actually makes you angry. Like you get anger rage over slow walkers, you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, like if they're inconsiderate, you're trying to pass them and they just kind of take up the whole trail, or they just don't even recognize that you're there with sharing the trail. It annoys me. Like you go to a picnic area and it seems like the same people you see on the trail that annoy you, they'll somehow beat you to the picnic rest area, and they'll be there and they're just talking loud, laughing right on top of you. And it's just move or something. So I don't know.
Just move.
Just people.
Don't you
I don't
want
know.
them at the picnic rest area so you can keep going? You want them to get out of your way,
Because
right?
I'm resting too, and
Why are you resting if you're walking so slow behind them?
Oh, I beat them to the picnic area and then they sat next to me. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like right next to you, uncomfortably close.
Yeah. What's something that angers you?
I don't. Well, we just did an episode. We had like a Throwback Thursday episode on how to have a showdown with trail villains. I'm trying to think if your description qualifies as a trail villain, but I would say see that episode. you see the anger rage come out with the people that are the mountain bikers that are making me dive off the trail or whatever.
Oh yeah,
so, yeah.
It's the same thing. Inconsiderate people.
Inconsiderate people. Yeah, trail trash, I guess, and really, I don't know. Stuff's gonna fall out of people's backpack. It's not always intentional. Yeah. But the dog bags with the poop in it, that's pretty intentional. People that
they don't pick it up. Yeah. So, and do you usually pick that up? I don't think it's my job.
I mean, if I'm out for a trail run, it's not really a good time to do that. So I think I'd have to go out specifically devoting time to do that. And
would you find someone with a dog and throw it at them, just hoping that was theirs? Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
I probably would too. Like, hey, you forgot
I have
this.
a dog. I bring my own dog. Yeah. All right. Bible verse of the episode. What you got?
Yeah, it comes from Matthew 6:26. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? So, Carl, do you feel like the heavenly Father feeds you?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask if I should be feeding the animals then.
Right, because God doesn't care about them, it says, and you're more valuable. Yeah, no, I want to do a different twist.
Okay, because I do not feed the wild animals, just to clarify.
Okay.
So, and neither does Ben, right?
No, we had a encounter once, and I almost, I don't know if I should be sharing this story, Carl, but we were camping, and we had chipmunks around us in northern Minnesota. Okay. And it jumped up on my daughter, and I took a stick and I swatted it and might have injured it fatally. And my daughter was cheering like, "Yeah, Dad, get it!" And I was like the hero for getting the chipmunk off her. So yeah, maybe it was
and that relates because your daughter was feeding the chipmunk.
No, people were feeding chipmunks at the state park, and so they became friendly. Yeah,
I'm trying to connect the dots here.
Sorry, yeah,
crazy.
We had that too. Right. Same thing in Florida. We had raccoons coming into our tent because people fed them.
Well, that's not.
You know what? You're making me angry. I think that is what anger ranges me. Is people feeding animals. Yeah, wild animals.
Well, because I had chipmunks when we were in Grand Teton National Park, and they weren't trying to get our. Well, I don't know if they were trying to get our food, but they did not want us there. They were like at this established backcountry site. And so they climbed up into the tree and started chucking pine cones at us from the tree. So it's like raining pine cones while we were there.
Is that how they fight? Is that like
guess so. I don't know.
their defense is just chucking stuff?
We survived, by the way. Just
okay. Yeah, I see that. Couple minor
they
bruises.
weren't very large pine cones.
So
Okay.
how did you push the red button? Pine cones were floating.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting attacked. Oh my gosh. So speaking of all this crazy animal encounters, we got crazy animal encounters to the extreme. We've got a man known as Swamp Tarzan, Isaac Scott, coming up right now. With us today is the modern version of Steve Irwin, a man that is not afraid to get his hands on wild animals. Isaac Scott, known as Swamp Tarzan. How's it going today, sir?
It's going great. Happy to be alive.
Nice.
All right, and you've like as we're just chatting with you, you already got your hand on a wild animal. Do you still have your toad with you?
Yeah, he's right here. This guy was swimming around in my pool. Little southern toad.
Just chatting. He's like, hang on a second. I got to go grab a toad out of the pool.
Let's go save a toad.
I didn't want him to drown. He was struggling swimming around. Oh, he's jumping all over now.
All right. So what is a swamp Tarzan?
What is a swamp Tarzan?
Like, what does it mean? Like, where's the name from? Anything you got?
Well, I have long hair, and for years I was a bartender at the beaches, and people would call me Tarzan. And we live in the swamps. And one day I was
Not
fishing
near,
off.
but in.
Yeah, in among the swamps. And one day I was fishing offshore, like 50 miles offshore, and caught like a once in a lifetime fish, like a 90-pound wahoo.
Ooh.
on like 20-pound test, and it took like 2 hours to get in, and the adrenaline dump after we pulled it in the boat, I just yelled, "I'm Swamp Tarzan," and it kind of the light bulb went off. I was like, oh, that kind of has a ring to it. I'd always wanted to have my own like animal show, wildlife educational channel. I was like, no better time than now to start. I saw these.
I mean, that's what you got, right? That's pretty much what is going on.
I saw these kids in like LA making dance videos and making money, and so I figured I could give it a shot. That's what I like to do.
Yeah. Is there any way we can get you to replicate that moment where you yelled to the world that you're Swamp Tarzan? Like, what did that actually sound like?
I
am Swamp Tarzan! Like, am I close?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I expected it to be a little more crackly, you know, like
full blown. There might have been a voice crack in there for all I know. I mean,
because you're so tired,
just full blackout. Just
I'm Swamp Tarzan, and then just passes out.
That's awesome.
There might have been a yell after that.
There it is.
Have you been practicing that?
There it is.
Of course.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right,
I also am a professional wrestler in my side time, and I wrestle under the guise of Swamp Tarzan, and so
I don't think I knew that. Wait, what kind of, like, when you say professional, so you get paid to
like WWE, but it's lower level.
Like
really?
What's below that? Like
circuit.
WCW, indie?
Well, there's like the indie circuits right now, and then hopefully working my way up.
Wow. So Swamp Tarzan's your name. Do you have like a walkout song or something like that?
Yeah, I do. But, I don't want anybody to steal it.
Is it the soundtrack for like Jungle Book or?
No, that's not a bad idea, but it's just it's a good song I heard one day, and I was like, there's no way that's not a wrestling walkout song. And then I did a bunch of research, figured out nobody was using it. I was like, all right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So did you go to school for that? Like to be the wrestler? Like went to the WCW or WWE?
Kinda. I went to like I guess it was a school. Yeah, I like trained for like a year before I did like my first match.
Besides wrestling, what is your main job?
Well, I work as a trainer at a gym as like main funds, and then I volunteer weekly at a like private wildlife sanctuary. So I'm getting my hours so I can own alligators and crocs. So I want to start my own sanctuary for nuisance alligators, because here in Florida, when an alligator gets labeled a nuisance, it has to either be euthanized or kept in captivity for the rest of its life. It can't be relocated. It's a dumb law in my opinion, but it is the law. So
Wait,
I
what does
figured
nuisance mean? Like nuisance
Right.
means like kills people?
nuisance. I mean, yes, if it kills somebody, they're going to kill that alligator. But nuisance could be it's some lady from New York moved down here. There's an alligator in the pond behind her house, and she wants it gone.
Okay, it's not like taking out cats and dogs and stuff. It's just like it's
No,
just
I mean that will get an alligator labeled a nuisance, but like a lot of times it's because people will feed them, and so they'll lose their fear of people.
Sure. So how many times before they get labeled nuisance? Is it once and you're done?
Yeah, it can be once.
We give Carl a couple times before we call him.
I know. I was like, I would already have to go to some sort of sanctuary.
Doesn't sound bad though, you know, get fed and taken care of.
Right.
Yeah, I mean captivity is better than dying. So I figured I could start a little sanctuary and help out.
What's the
Just
biggest
walk around
animal
pointing at
stunt
my
you've ever
feet.
pulled off?
I've kissed a 10-foot alligator like straight on the nose.
Like a nuisance one?
Yeah, like one that was labeled a nuisance that now is in captivity.
And now it's your friend, and it let you kiss it on the nose?
Yeah,
friend
is. I would like to think that, but it's more of tolerating.
Okay.
Oh, this guy
tolerates it.
Wait, I don't know if I saw that video. How long is that? Is that on your socials?
I don't think I have. It was a very long time ago.
Okay.
I don't know if I have that still. I've gone
Was
through.
that before or after Swamp Tarzan?
That was like beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
I just asked because I picture you kissing it and then being like, "Oh, I'm Swamp Tarzan."
I don't know. I don't know if there was quite the same reaction after that. That was more of like, whew.
That's awesome.
I still have a nose. I still have a face.
Right. That's pretty aggressive. So I mean, like when I'm watching your stuff, you got some really interesting stuff, and you're kind of running around. You're grabbing wild animals like they're nothing. You're grabbing snakes. You're feeding alligators and kind of like sometimes you're taunting them. You're grabbing fish that are like larger than Ben. Like what's the feedback you're getting from viewers on Instagram and YouTube? Like are you getting some interesting comments about all this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will comment. There's always going to be negative people online. So, but a lot of people are positive.
What do the negative people say? Are they shaking their finger at you like, you need to be safer?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, you're just gonna teach kids to go out and do this same thing."
Okay.
And my response is like, do they go out and shoot guns just because they see somebody shooting a gun on a video? Like, do they?
Oh, sure.
Like, just because they see a video doesn't mean they're gonna go do it. That's not an intelligent thing to do if you don't have any experience.
Right. Well, we were talking about this last night with a group of guys when I said I was interviewing you. Is they brought up the crocodile hunter, and he always prefaces his videos with, "All right, when you're about to touch an alligator," and we're like, "We're not gonna go touch an alligator. Why are you prefacing that?"
He was talking to me. Yeah. I was the kid on the couch, like, yes, Mr. Irwin. Okay.
I'm gonna go do it now.
Right.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there any animal you're actually afraid of?
Afraid? I'm not a huge fan of spiders, but like I'm not afraid of them. They're just.
We've seen you get your hand like you're petting spiders in your videos.
They're jumping spiders. I don't mind because they're like super nice.
Okay.
Like I don't know.
They're friendly.
They have like a personality. They're super nice, and I mean most spiders are nice. I'm slowly getting over that fear.
Okay.
Spiders.
Well, if you see a spider in your house, do you smash it? Or are you like, hey, little buddy, it's time to go back outside?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Let's get you in this little Tupperware and Move you out to the porch.
Okay, once you've done that, do you wash the Tupperware, or would you be willing to eat out of that?
I'm gonna wash it probably.
Okay, just making sure.
That's
So you're
funny.
talking, and I know that you're in the swamp zone there, but obviously, like you come over to the mountain areas that we got, like same thing, bears, mountain lions, like cloned woolly mammoths. You're good to go with all that stuff.
Oh yeah, my brother
Okay.
lives out in Utah, so I'll come out there, go see the bison. They have to
Okay.
tell me not to get close.
Yeah.
Right.
What do they know?
What's he gonna do? Gore me? Pretty sure somebody just got like messed up by one in Yellowstone.
Oh yeah, all the
Yeah.
time in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yellowstone's like the wild animal capital for attacks. It seems like. So
Yeah, and people nobody likes to actually respect the wildlife. Like,
right,
let me walk up and take a picture. Oh,
right.
like
Yeah,
it's a
you see that. You
statue.
see videos like that. You get the famous story of the person who grabbed the baby bison that was like it looked too cold in the rain that threw them in their car. Like you get that stuff. And
What?
you don't know that story, man?
I don't know that story.
It's like famous. Like they brought it to the ranger. They're like, this bison is like cold outside. It's raining. And then
Oh my god.
ranger's like, we now have to euthanize the bison because you took it
Oh
away
my
from the herd.
gosh.
So anyway, yeah,
That's
a
crazy.
famous story.
I just see the ones that are like always feeding the animals from their car and then get mad when they attack them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
people always like to think they're helping, but
Yeah.
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. Well, not in that case, but all right.
Well,
Speaking of getting your hands on animals, I don't know if you physically, outside of kissing the alligator, I don't know if you're physically like wrangling them at any point, but it looks like when you're feeding them, I mean, you're kind of like taunting them a little bit sometimes. And so,
I'll get them to. Let me specify. Those are all the ones I'm feeding are all in captivity.
yeah, sorry, that's a good
Okay.
clarification.
Because it is illegal to feed a wild alligator.
Okay.
That's how they get labeled a nuisance in the first place, is because somebody's feeding them, and then they kind of lose that fear of humans. Because
Right.
innately, most, if not all, alligators are going to be inherently afraid of people. Like they're even though
Really?
I saw like a 14-foot alligator up in Okefenokee swamps a couple weeks ago, and as soon as I got out of my truck, it like hightailed it. It almost walked on the water. It got away from me so
Oh.
fast.
Wow.
So did you
Like
chase it?
No, I just let him go and then kind of watched him. Once he got far enough away, he stopped and just kind of watched me. But
Oh my gosh.
and his head, I'm not joking, his head was like 2 feet long, just his head.
Wow.
Okay.
It was
And
probably
those
the
guys
biggest
are afraid.
alligator.
So
I've
I don't
ever
know if there's a scenario where you want to like physically like wrangle one or get your hands on one, but do you have any tips for anything like that?
Don't hesitate.
Okay.
That's with any dangerous animal. Like hesitation will get you bit. I mean,
Okay.
there's no reason any person should ever try and catch an alligator or like try and grab a snake behind the head. There's no reason somebody should ever have to do that. But if for some reason somebody decides they need to, like, don't hesitate.
It sounds like you're challenging us with coming up with the reasons why that would
Yeah.
happen. So
He says that, and in my mind, I'm like,
I got a reason right now. Like
Yeah.
you want to have a wildlife sanctuary, you got a nuisance alligator, you got to go get it from point A to point B. It's time to wrestle.
There's alligator trappers that do. It's like FWC, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. They control all of the who catches the nuisance alligators, so they'll contract it out to alligator hunters, and then they'll bring it to, say, a sanctuary. That sanctuary won't go out and catch that alligator usually.
So you
Unless
don't want
it's
to be
like-
a wrestler? You don't want to be an
unless it's
alligator
like-
wrestler?
There's a lot of. I mean, I would love to,
Okay.
but there's a lot of politics that go into it. And there's only like one person per county that like usually can go wrangle them.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, if you're looking to kind of, I don't know, increase your stature in the wrestling world, I feel like, what's going to set you apart from other wrestlers, you start bringing like a real alligator into the ring with you and start wrestling around with that thing. I think you're going to WCW pretty fast. What do you think?
I mean, they say all publicity is good publicity, right? But I don't think that might be some pretty bad publicity.
He literally that little laugh was him like visualizing him in the arena with the alligator.
I mean, I would love that. I mean, that's me doing what I love to do in front of hundreds of people. But PETA wouldn't be too fond of that.
Okay. Well, I mean,
everybody would,
I guess, right?
yeah. I could be the heel for sure, but I also want FWC to stay as far away from me as possible. So,
all right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's always a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get a lot of rattlesnakes out here, and you're telling me not to go grab one, but let's just say I want to, move it. How do you handle a venomous snake without getting bit?
Get a long stick.
Okay.
Or get a snake tongs, the ones that you could like squeeze from this end and 4 feet down there, it grabs them. Then you can just pick it up. Then you can just pick it up, move it to where, and you're staying out of reach.
So my barbecue tongs are too short, is what you're saying.
Far too short.
Okay.
So he's saying not to do this, but here's a scenario. Like, let's say you do get bit by a snake. I think they want you, if you can, to get the snake, so that way they know what kind of anti-venom to give you, right?
Everybody carries a smartphone with them. Take a picture.
Okay.
A picture works just as good as having the actual snake.
Yeah.
Well,
the problem is I get the video of me like, hey guys, I'm gonna go try this. I saw someone do this once where they picked up a snake, and
just don't show your insurance that.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm just thinking like you got, I don't know, you're either this like hapless victim, you're like, I got bit by a snake, help me, or you're like, I got bit by a snake, but I got the snake. Here we go.
Most of the time, I think there's like a crazy high, I don't know the actual number, but like a very high percentage of snake bites are from people trying to pick them up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We usually make up the percentages, so it's okay to just throw a number out.
Like 9%.
80%. Don't look it up.
Okay. I had a cobra like walk between my legs in Africa, and I almost picked it up because I thought it was like a caterpillar. Because I saw the tail.
Yeah, no, you don't want to get bit by a cobra.
Yeah.
Okay, so recently I was on the trail, and there was a rattlesnake that was coiled, and it was a single track trail, and there was like scrub oak solid on both sides, so you couldn't go around it, or at least not immediately around it. And so I tried like tossing rocks at it just to try to scare it away, not to hit it, but just to like get it to move, and it wasn't moving. At the time, I didn't have trekking poles, but had I had a trekking pole, should I have taken the pole? Like, is the pole long enough for me to like stick it at the snake and kind of try to slide it off the trail, or what would you recommend in that situation?
It depends how long your trekking pole is. The snake can usually strike like 2/3 of the length of its body, so I would just kind of like
2/3 of its length.
If it's a 6-foot snake, I'd try and stay 4 feet away.
Right, but but I've heard that if they're gonna strike, they would strike at the pole, not necessarily at your hand. Am I
no, that's false.
Okay.
So they're a pit viper, so they have heat-seeking pits on the front of their face. So when they strike, when they strike, it's basically like a heat-seeking missile. They're just gonna strike, and then it's gonna go towards wherever the heat is, which is your warm-blooded hand. So the cold pole, it's not gonna. I mean, it may bite the cold pole, but like if it's actually striking at you, it's gonna go towards the warm-blooded part of which is your hand.
So the biggest thing to do is put hand warmers on the end of the trekking pole, Carl.
Yeah,
and
hand warmers.
Yeah,
if you have them.
Yeah.
I've never tried that, but
yeah, if you got hand warmers, you're probably not. The snakes probably aren't out, right? Because
I would just get like a 7-foot stick, 7 to 8 foot stick, and just kind of try and slide it like a little hockey puck.
Okay,
it's my signature move, the hockey.
hockey puck.
Yeah, if they're coiled up like that, they just slide nice and easy.
Right.
Wow.
Because there's Carl with his 8-foot stick running down the trail now.
Right.
Anywhere you go.
All right. So like on your videos, you've got kind of this I call it a feeding voice. Like you're talking to the animals, and I think it's hilarious. So if you don't mind role playing, imagine Ben is an alligator and you're about to feed him. How would you talk to Ben?
A lot of times I like to go into my my like Louisiana Cajun voice for that. I'm like, oh, hey, Bobo, how you doing? What's up, dude? You want some food? Yeah, I like it.
That's it. That was the question. You answered it. That was great.
Yeah.
I like it, so that's it's fun.
Yeah.
Do you think the alligators recognize that accent better? Like they're more responsive to it, or?
Probably not. They're probably looking at me like, what is this
Yeah.
idiot
He heard your
doing?
normal voice. This is not appropriate.
Why are you talking to me like that? Yeah.
Okay, so Swamp Tarzan, it's time for our lightning round. You've got 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can. Typically, people can answer around 8. So if you can beat 8, you are above the average. We've had as many as 13. Are you ready for this?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
All right.
First question is: you've seen everybody's been talking about the people that want to wrestle the gorilla, the 100 people it takes to take the gorilla. What number would you be in that number to wrestle the gorilla?
I would not. That gorilla's taking out all 100.
Oh.
What's one critter that's super
Sign
cool?
me up to film.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What's one
Sorry,
critter
I
that's
said
super
sign me
cool
up to
but others
film.
think is gross?
Under the swamp water.
Okay.
So, all right. Ever wrestled a python?
Yes.
Favorite food to feed a gator?
Whole fish.
How many animals have you brought home?
2 baby
Something-
injured animals.
Something people don't know about Florida.
We have a crazy number of freshwater springs that have crystal clear water, and it doesn't even look like it's a real place.
Yeah. If you had to believe in one, Sasquatch or lizard people, what would you believe in?
Both.
Oh, you believe?
What's the last nightmare you had?
Falling down the stairs and knocking all my teeth out.
Oh.
And time. All right. Ben, how many did you get there?
I got 4.
You got 4. And so I
Should
must
have
have gotten 4 as well. 8.
Yeah.
All right. So you hit
Nice.
right the average there. Congratulations. So what's the okay? I'll ask Ben first. Ben, any takeaways or follow-ups to anything?
I want to hear the python story that you wrestled, if it was big or not. And
I've gone down to the Everglades once, and we caught one 10-foot python and one 8-foot python.
gosh.
Wow.
And I was it was when I worked for like a nuisance wildlife company removal, and they weren't the biggest snake people, so I just kind of had to do everything. But they paid for everything, so that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were all like freaking out when we found the like 10-footer, all just kind of surrounding it, and I just walked up and grabbed him behind the head.
So it didn't wrestle, like, because you watch the movies where you're like up. And
I mean,
wrestling
it'll like wrap around your arm, but it wasn't like a crazy 15-footer or anything.
Okay.
I mean,
oh, okay, yeah.
So there's like a crowd, and you're kind of like pushing people out of the way. Like, pardon me, the
Yeah,
heroes here.
Excuse me, I'll just show you guys real quick.
Yeah.
And that was like if you ever go down to the Everglades to go catch a python, that's another thing. Don't hesitate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to kill you if they bite you, but they got some pretty nice teeth. They're going to open you up.
Okay.
The big ones will, and they can definitely hit a vein or an artery very easily. I've had buddies who have been close to death from getting bit by 15+ footers. But yeah, like don't hesitate. That'll get you bit. Because then it has time to turn around.
My only hesitation would be I'm trying to measure it, because I'd be like, it's 10 foot, I can handle it. 15 foot, no thanks.
Right.
Don't think about that. Measure it after.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's a future me problem.
Yeah,
future me problem. Yeah. So what's the deal with like the falling down the stairs and knocking the teeth out? Is it because you've got like a YouTube channel, and Instagram feed?
No,
that
I have.
If my teeth are out, I can't perform.
No, I have 2 fake front teeth, and I've knocked them out before.
Oh, so okay, it's kind of like
it's just trauma. Yeah, past trauma.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. You've got a lot of interesting stuff. So what future videos can we look forward to on your Instagram feed and YouTube channel? What you got coming out?
I'm definitely gonna keep making those montages at the place sanctuary I volunteer at. I'm going to stay going out helping animals get out of the road so they don't get run over. Trying not to give away too many of my secrets.
Fair enough. All right.
I don't really have many
Yeah,
secrets.
if you
I'm
give it
still
away,
learning.
if you give it away, Carl tends to steal them. So just
Yeah, I just steal ideas.
the next video will be of Carl like trying to, do
I'm
something.
not grabbing toads and snakes and things. I'm not that level
Carl's
yet,
next
but-
video is him like putting a spider into a Tupperware and be like, "Look at me, I'm Denver's Tarzan."
That's right. All right. Well, check out. So we're gonna have links in our show description. So check out Swamp Tarzan. Isaac, man, it's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun hearing your stories, and keep making fun content. We really enjoy it. So thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man, I had a great time. Thanks for having me.
All right, Ben, what you got? Reactions, takeaways, things you learned.
Yeah, well, learned just to not hesitate. I think that I'm pretty good at not hesitating.
Does
but
that
maybe
apply to like big game animals too, you think?
I would think anything. You just don't hesitate.
Okay.
You just go after it, right? You just do
I don't
your
know, is
first
that-
instinct.
People react how they're going to react. I don't always know if they know how they're going to react. Like if a bear turns the corner, or if they find a bobcat in their tent. I think people aren't going to always. It's like you don't know until you know.
Right.
So, is that realistic?
I think it could be. I think we could create a business where we just throw people into wild animal encounters and see how they react and teach them.
Like teach them. So if they have enough sort of like unexpected encounters, when they have a real one, then they'll be like cool, calm, collected. You're saying?
Yeah, we work our way up. Like maybe we start with the spiders and give Tupperware containers like catch the spider. And then next one's a small python, and then next is the alligator, and then eventually it's just like, all right, you versus the grizzly bear, go for it.
So it's kind of like trial by fire. So what's she gonna call his business, Ben?
Probably I like that one, trial by fire.
Just trial by fire.
Trial by fire. I don't know. What would you call it?
Okay. So what's the logo gonna be? Just like some sort of grizzly bear with like the mouth around somebody's head, and how are you gonna get out of this one?
They're holding the grizzly bear,
Oh my gosh. I bet if you could get licenses for that, I bet that would be a thing. You could.
Oh, I'm sure
I
somewhere.
bet so many
is.
people would
Yeah.
sign up for that. And then actually, yeah, we should try to like copyright this idea, because I bet this could be like, very videoable for sure. And
Yeah.
that's our next YouTube channel, Trial by Fire. There you go.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Isn't it just like another form of Fear Factor, basically?
Well, that's probably what they probably did it on Fear Factor, but we'd have like maybe like ropes, like acrobatics, where it just slingshots you out of the arena
Okay.
if you're like about to get charged.
So kind of like a combo of wild animal encounters with like Wipeout, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
To
I
get
like
to
it.
the next one, you gotta go through an obstacle course.
Yeah. I did learn, I will say, so I did learn about he shared about kind of the heat sinking nature of rattlesnakes. That was probably my biggest takeaway. Is I actually have heard multiple people give tips like, you got a trekking pole, just slide them off the trail. And when I put that video out about that rattlesnake encounter that I had, that's literally what people were saying. Like, you should have used your trekking pole or a stick. Well, A, there weren't any sticks around. B, I didn't have trekking poles. And then now C, that sounds like a bad idea, because that thing, it's hard to know how long they are when they're coiled up.
Right.
So I think that the best solution was what we did. We backtracked a ways, and then we went way up and around, way kind of off trail to access it. But yeah, good to know. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think just you did the right thing. If you don't have a stick. I don't think I'm going to be hiking with like an 8-foot stick just because of animals.
I mean, if you're in the forest or if you're in a forest area, you could probably come across one. So it's not unreasonable to try to find one of those things.
Yeah.
But that's not always true. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, thanks again to Swamp Tarzan for hopping on the show. Unique guest for sure, with a unique skill set, and we just appreciated having a conversation about some of the weird stuff that he does out in the wild. So I've just got one tidbit, and that is, it's not too late to sign up to join the Patreon family. It's really never too late.
Nice. Yeah.
Every week we got our episodes ad-free. We got bonus episodes and segments out there. And of course, we've got our Patreon trips. And I'm thinking about throwing out a bonus Patreon trip later this year. We have one for August and for the Timberline Trail. Then we've got one I'm looking at for October. So just planting that seed. Yeah. And you might be available for that one, right?
Yeah. As long as it's middle October, not around my wife's birthday, I'll be there.
Yeah. Ben's generally not available for anything. So the fact that we can actually find a trip that fits his schedule is amazing. Is that pretty accurate?
I'll plan the trip and I won't make it.
Would you trust a trip that Ben plans is the question. Maybe. Maybe. That's all I got, man. You got anything else?
Yeah, don't touch an animal unless it touches you first.
Like any animal, like dogs and cats? What are we talking about?
Just any animal.
Any animal. All right. Have a great weekend. God bless everybody.
I want